quickly on the Detroit Lions. Saturday night, we know, prime game. We know what happened against the Cowboys at the end of the game. Quickly, your elevator speech thoughts on that, and then I want to move right on to the next questions I have for you on the Lions.
I won't spend a lot of time on it. Dan, please kick it from the 7. That's all I really have for you. That I would have kicked it from the 7, and I know that Dan is who Dan is, and Dan is Dan. I totally get it, and he wants to run his team his way, but he had the Cowboys on the ropes. Knock them out.
Brant, that's actually the first question that I had for you tonight is specifically about Dan Campbell. I listened on the radio the last couple of days here locally, and I think Lions fans are split. You've got some that are like, they're so gung-ho on Dan Campbell and just like they love it, the aggressiveness, all of it, live and die by it, great. But you got another part of the fan base that's like sick and tired of like when this doesn't go well and you don't kick the extra point to go to overtime. Honestly, people are fed up with Dan Campbell. I think he's holistically loved here around the city. I am in the camp. So it sounds like you, Brant, are in the camp of like just kick the extra point after you had like 7 tries to make that play work. It felt like I'm not in that camp, and this is why. And I think it's fine to be in either one. I don't know if there's necessarily a right answer. I think that this is who Dan Campbell is. It's the identity of this team. It's who he wants to be. The differences with Dan is there's a lot of coaches and coach speak that say it, that talk about it, and he's actually out there doing it. Like no matter how big the game is, how big the moment is, how small the moment is, first quarter, fourth quarter, like it doesn't matter. He's going to take these risks and take these shots. And I love it. I think that there's a reason why these players believe in him, his messaging. And when he tells them that, they're going to drive the ball down the field and they're going for 2 to win the game, there's not a player on the Lions that's like, wait, what? No, let's kick the extra point. Like these guys are dogs too, and they're bought into that mentality. They were ready to do it. It didn't work. You got bit by it. It's easy to criticize it now. But my thought, even in that moment, Brant, was I hate NFL overtime. It's the worst. I hate the fact that you can drive down the field, score a touchdown, the game is over, but then a field goal, you get a chance to run it back. College football overtime is just so much better. So for me, it is the flip of a coin toss. And, do you give the ball up to Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense and CeeDee Lamb's having like a career day? And yeah, you want to believe in that defense. I get that. I certainly wasn't believing in Cam Sutton to do anything with CeeDee Lamb. And so I understand when you are there on the 7-yard line, the odds are, and I don't know what the analytics are at that point, but like probably not a bad idea to go and try to win that football game right there.
Yeah, no, it's a 16% worse chance than you have from the 4. So whatever that means to you. So Dave, you might be fine with the decision to go for it again once you get the offsides. Are you happy with the play call?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Why are you throwing it to a backup tight end is my question.
Not at all.
I guess my thought there is you have Amon-Ra St. Brown on the field.
Jahmyr
Gibbs. And you do have your number 1 tight end still in the game, right? So what are we doing? Don't get fancy or tricky in that moment.
Yeah.
Then
that's a fair point right there. I can agree with that. Absolutely. Don't get cute in those moments. You want to be gritty. You want to be aggressive. Go ahead and do it. But don't get cute. Go and be aggressive. Make a smart play call to put the ball in your best, your best playmaker's hands. And we named a few of them right there that it could have gone to. So I think it's fair. I think, people love Dan Campbell. Sure, they're frustrated by this loss, and obviously the debacle with the ref and checking in as we got billboards around the city right now. Decker checked in or whatever it was, and I think Dan Campbell kind of summarized this whole thing best. I think it was yesterday. I heard him on the radio. He's like, don't do that. Don't let's not do this. That's not who we are. We've got a lot of football left to play. All of our goals in front of us. They're already moved on. They're
You
ready.
know,
They're
he
ready for. Go ahead.
no, he said we'll see him in a couple weeks. Dan's already
Yeah.
ready to see him again. So, and the Cowboys clearly have an advantage with CD Lamb over Cam Sutton, and we saw it all night long. And it would be a great matchup again. Hopefully, Derek Barnes finds his arms, in that moment.
Make a tackle. Yeah.
So, but other than that, Dave, I do want to quickly say that if you're gonna ride with Dan Campbell, just be ready to lose a game where you say, "Shoot, maybe the other way." This is just who he is, and he's not gonna win every game doing this. That you can't rely on the analytics all the time to get it. And I know there was a field goal opportunity earlier in the game that he also said, slide to the side. I might not need those 3 points. That's one that people should look at too and say, well, in the second quarter, maybe just kick it and take the points on the road. And maybe he will in the playoffs. You don't know how playoff Dan's going to be.
We don't know. That was the next thing is like, I may have a totally different tune if I watch this game play out the way it just did, and the Lions are losing and exiting the playoffs. Like, different set of circumstances, but we don't know what playoff Dan Campbell looks like. I got a pretty good feeling. I know what he looks like, and I think he looks pretty similar to what you saw against the Cowboys here Saturday night. So I would just buckle up, get ready, because Dan is who he is.
It's going to be a long playoffs, hopefully.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dave, before we get into the bets, I don't know if you've ever seen a weekend where there were so many correlations between a Detroit Lions football game and a Michigan football game, where it was like, it felt like what we went through on Monday night, you went through on Saturday night, and it was two coaches that had beautiful game plans, that the coaching staffs looked brilliant, and then it just seemed like, obviously the Lions got screwed in the end, but like Harbaugh pushed all the right buttons, whether it be to go for the extra point at the end or the 4th and 2 call to Blake Corum out of the backfield and all of the things that they were doing pre-snap and stuff like that, like the Roman Wilson sprint out. It looked like that these were two completely prepared teams for the moment, and that is so refreshing to see as a fan of both teams.
Brant, last thing on the Lions. Sorry, I know we're really over on time tonight. Who do you want to see, Rams or Packers? Because the way it sits right now, if the Rams are going to play the 49ers, okay? The Rams announced today that they are sitting Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. They're resting all their guys. Now, the 49ers are resting CMC, potentially Brock Purdy. We don't know what's going to happen in this game. The Rams win, and I believe they lock up the 6th seed, which is the most likely scenario for the Lions if they stay at 3. The Lions are not moving to 2 unless the Eagles and the Cowboys both lose this weekend. That looks highly unlikely. Yeah. So the Rams win. Looks like Matt Stafford's coming back to Detroit. There's a very good chance that they don't win. And the Packers, I believe, play the Bears. If the Packers beat the Bears, they're going to jump into that 6th seed. Okay? And so my question to you, Brant, quickly is Packers, Rams. You got the Matt Stafford story, and you got a Packers team that embarrassed you on Thanksgiving. Who'd you rather play?
I'd rather play the Packers, and it's not even close. The storylines that come along with Matthew Stafford walking back into Ford Field and saying these words on his way out. Go ahead and turn those lights off till August, boys. Like, can you imagine what that would feel like? Like, that is the equivalent to your ex walking into your house with their brand new girlfriend and being like, "Did you make us dinner? Where's it at? We came over to your house. Aren't you supposed to serve us?" And then they just walk out and leave you and steal all your money, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's just an outrageous thought that could even be a possibility.
So help me God. if somebody shows up to Ford Field in a Detroit Rams number 9 jersey, I'm done. I am absolutely done with this team.
AFC